Today, we're looking at Robert Oster Aqua. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Robert Oster Aqua is a turquoise ink. But before we get to the writing samples, I would like to look at the sciencey bits. And up first is the chromatography. Now, I agree with Vita that there's a lot to be learned by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put the ink onto the paper, I let it into the water for about 10 to 15 seconds and watch it rise up. Now, this gives a very nice green most all of the way up and a dark blue line up at the top. The one on the right, yes, the one on the right is not done correct. I let it dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into the water for that 10 to 15 seconds. Now, it looks the same as the one that was let dry. We see, having to look back at it, we see a little bit darker at the bottom, but other than that, no change. Resistance tests are done to see how well this ink is going to hold up on the paper, but more importantly, how easy it is to clean out of the pen. And this is easy to clean out of the pen. Don't highlight it, it doesn't highlight well. It feathers all over the place, it explodes, it's going to become hard to read. That's bad news for note taking, good news for pen cleaning. Water completely reactivates, completely is pulling it up. Same with pen flush, it's removing it entirely. I don't think you would have to go as far as pen flush in order to get this out of a pen. I might try and ruin a converter one day just to see if I let it dry in there, if it can be hard to remove. Bleach, no chance, gone. So what does it mean? Water gets this pen out, or this ink out of the pen. No problem. Now this is a bell curve, or a normal distribution. For the 365 inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with normal being the range from 2.1 to 2.9. Now Robert Oster Aqua has a viscosity of 1.42. 1.42 on there you see is way down in the red. It's chasing the water line, which is funny because it's called Aqua. Ha! I don't know. I won't do that one again. Promise. It's horrible. Very wet ink though. Now this bell curve is for the average dry time. For the 365 inks I've tested, I've found an average dry time of 17 seconds, and normal is the range from 13 to 21 seconds. Robert Oster Aqua has an average dry time of 13 seconds, right on that average line. Again, despite this being a very wet ink, its dry time is normal. There's nothing to fear there, other than the fact that it seems like it goes down and it might want to smear a lot, but it dries on the faster side of the normal range. To find my average dry time, I average my writing samples done on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper with the extra fine and medium nib in the writing samples. Now let's go to the writing sample. This ink I have in sample form. To keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159. Oh my goodness, my cords are all over me. With a 1.1 stub. I use a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Looking at Clairefontaine, we have no bleeding, no ghosting. On the 1.1 we have no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen. We do have color variation, which is nice. A fair amount of color variation. It gets really light in some areas and keeps a dark blue in others, or dark turquoise in others. On the extra fine, no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, some really nice color variation that goes on. It gets to really dark areas, really light areas, very nice. Truly makes this stand out. 10 seconds to dry. On the medium, the colors are very much the same as what we get with the extra fine, which is nice, considering we do get very nice color variation. No feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no halo, nice color variation. This is a beautiful looking ink to use. I like using this at school. The kids like seeing it. and when I use it, I tend to get questions. So this is a very nice ink. 13 seconds to dry. When we look at a scrubby, the extra fine looks like it's going to have none, but we do get some color variation in the writing. And the medium shows us much more of what we get in both. On the smear, both of these would be recoverable. So if you're using this for note taking, you would be able to recover it. On the Tomoe River, no bleeding, definite ghosting, because it's Tomoe River. On the 1.1, we have no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no halo, nice color variation. This is a pretty ink. A very pretty turquoise. On the extra fine, we have no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen, not very much color variation, almost none. The spots that have it, you would almost have to really just hone in on it and say, nope, it's there because I can see a tiny bit. Not so much. 16 seconds to dry. On the medium, no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no halo. Some color variation, some in spots. Not a ton. I wouldn't consider this really a shading ink on this paper. Looking at the scrubby, we see that there's almost no color variation, and on the smear, on Tomoe River, you almost never get to actually recover it. And that's the case here. That's lost. Looking at Rhodia paper, we have no bleeding, no real ghosting. It shows more on camera. No real ghosting. I would be comfortable using both sides of the paper. On the 1.1, we have no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen. Very little color variation. It doesn't seem to show up as well here as it did on the Clairefontaine. On the extra fine, no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen. Not a lot of the color variation. It's a dark ink here. 9 seconds to dry. On the medium, no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen. We do get color variation though. It shows up in quick, in fox, in jumps. So it's nice. We start getting that color variation back. Just maybe on the extra fine, because it's such a thin line, we start losing that color variation. And when the medium gets us 11 seconds to dry, very much the same as the extra fine. So the line thickness is what's allowing or not allowing that line, that color variation to occur. Looking at the scrubbies, we see that the extra fine does not give us a color variation and the medium does. And in both of these smears, I would be able to recover this. So this is a good note-taking ink. I'm looking at TWSBI paper. So I like looking at pen manufacturers' paper because if they don't make good paper, I get a little disappointed with them. We have no bleeding, some ghosting, not horrible. I don't tend to use both sides of paper, so that's okay. On the 1.1, no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no color variation. This is a very flat paper. It dries a little quicker than some other papers. I like it as a notebook. I don't like it to see a lot of the qualities of ink. On the extra fine, we see a lot of the same happen. No feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no halo, no color variation whatsoever. 8 seconds to dry. On the medium, no feather, no spread, no echo, no sheen, no halo. We do get some color variation. It occurs in jumps. It occurs in over. It occurs in the dry. But it's not all over. It's only in selected areas. So it makes me wonder if maybe I touched the paper here before I wrote and that's what gave it to me. So if you want nice color variation, maybe the idea is to smear your hands all over and get your oils there. I don't know. Because when I look at a scrubby, I don't see color variation. Not in either the extra fine or the medium, but on the smear, I can recover it. I like TWSBI paper, but I know that it's not going to let me have some of the features of inks like sheen. It's not going to show up, which is okay. I don't like sheen. Last up, we have Moleskin Bleeding. We expect it. Not as much show-through as you would. Like normally I'll see bleeding and it's over. Not as much show-through as you would expect it. So that's, fair, I guess. It didn't beat up the page underneath. So it only bled this page, but it didn't go bleed all over the next page. This is a medium up top. And we have feathering. We have a little bit of spread. It's not horrible. You could use this. If this is just jot some notes, it's not the end of the world. With the extra fine, we still have feathering. We still have a little bit of spread. We have no halo, no sheen, no shade. 6 seconds to dry. We see in a scrubby we get nothing. We see in a smear you can actually kind of recover it. This wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to use it. You just can't use both sides of the page. So that's what I have for the writing sample. Instead of finding inks that look like Lamy Aqua, I would prefer to find an ink that really helps the contrast on the page and really helps both colors pop. I've chosen the Atramentis Fog Grey because this is a very bright turquoise. I felt that more muted gray tone would really contrast each other in a nice way. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I'm asking, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I would invite you to subscribe. To make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I write with it in the writing samples. I then put it into a different pen for a day where I use it the whole day. I then put it into a Lamy Al-Star with a 1.1 stub to take my notes for this video. So what do I think of Robert Oster Aqua? I think you put it into a 1.1 stub and bam, it's an amazing color. Absolutely amazing. I didn't care for it 100% with other stuff, but in a stub, amazing. So now the big question, would I buy a bottle of this ink? Yes. Yes, I would. Because using it with a stub, using it with flexi nibs gives such a great color. Absolutely, because I love shading in inks. Thanks for watching.